Outside my window, a delivery van stops, its engine idling as the driver jumps out. A little cloud of exhaust fumes begins to form in the London drizzle behind the van. In 2018, an estimated 1.8 billion consumers worldwide bought goods online, generating e-retail sales of $2.8 trillion. By 2021, this figure is expected to reach $4.8 trillion. Yet it is unclear what its overall impact is on the environment. Logic suggests that one delivery to several homes would be better for the environment than several cars or several buses going to the shops, but in practice, it isn't this simple. Earlier this year, the journalist and author Fred Pearce looked at the impact of online shopping on the environment. He found that the theoretical benefits it might have been expected to bring were offset by the big variation in consumer behavior. For instance, if items have to be redelivered or returned, then the carbon footprint goes up. A study in Germany showed that as many as 1 in 3 orders online were returned. Another study, by Dimitri Weideli, categorized shoppers into 3 different categories: traditional shopper, cybernaut, and cybernaut impatient demanding high-speed delivery, to try to compare the carbon footprints of different kinds of internet shopper with traditional shoppers. The cybernaut's carbon footprint was twice as small as a traditional shopper. However, the cybernaut impatient, who always opted for faster delivery regardless of when a van was in their area, almost tripled the impact of freight transportation. As Weideli points out, the product being produced tends to determine its carbon footprint. A laptop will require more protective packaging than a t-shirt, and it will therefore generate greater carbon emissions. Profitability for home delivery companies is all about last-mile efficiency, how cost-effectively they can travel the last mile. The last mile also tends to generate the greatest carbon emissions. A report by Bain Company shows how retailers can lower carbon emissions by encourage shoppers to cluster purchases. By getting customers to pick up their purchases from a store, a frequent occurrence in Sweden, for instance, a locker or a gas station, emissions can be reduced. It also helps offset the congestion in cities caused by delivery vehicles. In 2016, researchers at the University of Delaware found that when the number of home shopping increased, so did travel time, delays and vehicle emissions from the transport network as a whole. In the small medieval town of Sigtuna, Sweden, Carl-Magnus Norden is applying a modern solution to the age-old problem of moving heavy goods around crowded cities. Norden is CEO of Volta Trucks, which makes electric delivery vehicles. He hopes that the first prototype vehicles will be ready summer 2020. Norden points out that with major European cities like London expanding low-emissions zones, it won't be possible for fleet operators to continue running trucks on fossil fuels.